Welcome, beautiful souls. My name is Hannah from Reality Awareness, and we are on day 3 of the Psychic Skills Activator. So, welcome! Today is the 3 biggest mistakes you don't want to make when developing your psychic skills. Yeah, when you're working in this industry and growing and enhancing your psychic abilities and intuition, these are the 3 biggest mistakes you don't want to make. So we're going to be talking about those today. And hey guys, people joining live, yes, hi, welcome. The other thing we're going to be talking about are your crucial magnification keys for increasing your intuition. Hey beautifuls. And I feel like there's a bit of a bonus coming in at the end of today's live stream, so you probably want to hang around for that one. It's a little bit unexpected that this dropped in, so it's not on your booklet, it hasn't been mentioned. You're gonna have to stick around to find out what exactly is the bonus that we're doing today. Hey Deborah, hey Jeanette, some beautiful people on my live stream, welcome. Okay, let me share this as always. See if I can bring it up in here. It is like pouring rain here today. It's one of those days where you want to stay in bed all day. Like storming, heavy rain, grey skies. Shared, yay! Yes, sharing this live stream today, just like our past 2 days. When you share this live stream, please comment on here and tell me that you've shared it to go in the draw to win a free 30-minute psychic phone call reading with me. You must share it on your page or in a group and actually comment here to qualify so that you can let me know that you've shared, and so I know that I can put you in the draw. Ali and I will be collaborating all of these and getting them all together on Monday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So you've got a little bit of time to share it and comment below and go into the draw. And we will be pulling the names out of a hat for 3 days. So you've got 3 chances of winning. Yeah, every single day you can go in the draw. So there'll be 3 separate draws. There's 3 free psychic readings that you can win. So, and I'll be doing that on Tuesday, yeah, Australian Eastern Standard Time Zone. So, yay, it's letting me share. Okay, so that one shared, one more. All right, I'm excited to dive into our day 3. Where are we? Okay. I'm gonna have to do this one on my phone. How are we feeling today? How did we go after our call yesterday? Had a lot of people private message me, and so they haven't really commented on here and said, oh my god, this happened in the third eye crystalline activation. So it was quite intense for a lot of people, and I was like, wow, all these people like messaging me, sharing. So I'm really curious how you're feeling after the activation yesterday. Are you feeling energized? Are you feeling like you want to curl away? Are you feeling like you're ready for the next day? I'm curious, deeply curious. We also did the 12 Divine Steps to Awakening Your Life Purpose. We did Divine Step number 10, Wholeness, in the Reality Awareness support group. If you haven't checked that out, please make sure you go and check that out. I ended up being a bit emotional on that live stream. I did not plan that, but that's obviously what needed to come out. About looking at the whole picture, yeah, because when we're working with our psychic abilities, just like I shared on the first day, on day 1, it's not just one way we receive our intuition. It's not just one, aspect of our clairvoyance. It's not just one, feeling or knowing. It's literally about coming into the whole picture. So it's kind of like pertinent that we're doing the 12 Divine Steps. We're up to number 10, which is wholeness, like looking at the whole picture. Yeah, when we're getting into our intuition, it's not just one aspect, it's the whole intuition, it's your whole spatial awareness, it's your the in front of you, it's behind you, it's to the sides, it's above, it's your clairvoyance, it's your third eye, it's your third eye clairvoyance, it's your ear chakras, it's your heart, it's the whole, like your whole body is your intuition. Yeah, your whole senses are intuition, right? A lot of people just use their claircognizance and they're like lost in the rest of their body. Like it's kind of like, why don't you activate the rest of this body as well, right? It's your whole body's intuition. And it's a bit like I share in Trust Intuition is that it literally, like we are the intuition. It's not just, oh, I'm gonna sit here and meditate and receive messages, which is very powerful, by the way, but every single thing becomes part of your intuition. Every aspect. It's not like, it's a bit like when you do yoga. So like yoga finishes when you get off the mat. Like yoga is a whole way of being. Your intuition is a whole way of being. Once you get off and finish meditating, like you are the meditation, you are the intuition. Like, do you know what I mean? There's no separation there. And I think that's where a lot of people get kind of clouded and like, enmeshed and all this stuff, is because we are very energetic. We are energetic beings. We feel everything. And if we're not conscious of our spatial awareness, if we're not conscious of behind us, to the sides, above, all of that, all the time, that's when we do get lost in this space, right? So when we've got this conscious awareness of where we start energetically and where somebody else does, then we can really activate all of our senses, our whole self, not just say our claircognizance and then the rest is just a big mess and like, all like connected in here, right? Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Sharing. So we become the entire intuition, yeah? So Deborah says anxiety, but thinking it's the full moon. Okay, let me talk about that. Thanks for sharing, guys. Everyone who shares goes in the draw, so share away and then comment below and let me know that you've shared it to qualify to go into the draw. So Jeanette says moon energy is high and intense. Yes. Hey Shane. You felt great and energized after the crystalline activation. Yeah. Yes. Caught me live again. Hey Teresa. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Share. All right. So let me just speak about the full moon and anxieties. So, and just like, ick, right? So at the full moon, everything is amplified. Now, as an empath, intuitive, here's how you amplify your psychic skills, right? When there is peak times like the full moon, and we're coming up to Halloween, yeah, the veils are very, very thin, and they're going to get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner coming into like the end of the month, yeah? Hey, beautifuls. Now, at things like the full moon, like I said, the light is shone on everything. So if you're feeling anxiety or you're feeling anxious about something or things are really intense, it's kind of like, yes, just like we shared on day 1 of activating your psychic skills activator, of how to exactly like tune into all the cycles of everything going on. So the moon, the seasons, all of that, right? You guys remember that, yes? So in that sense, it's like looking at the full moon. Okay, I'm feeling really anxious, lots of anxiety. I'm feeling really intense emotions, or you might be kind of getting pulled down in a spiral. And it's kind of like the key about keeping yourself clear as a psychic, as an intuitive, as a healer, as just a person who's really sensitive. The key is to catch it before you end up down here. Yeah? So if you are feeling anxious, if you are feeling really intense emotions, if you feel like hiding away and you're like, yeah, right? Look at what's going on, and like in every area of your life. And this is where the 12 divine steps to awakening your life purpose, which is still free towards the end, oh my goodness, until the end of the year, right? So if you haven't got the 12 divine steps to awaken your life purpose, please send me a message or comment below and I can put the link in for you. When we look at, when something is off, we're feeling the anxiety, we're feeling the intense emotions, it affects your sleep, it's important to look at those aspects on your spider web, on your life, basically. Yeah. So in divine step number 1, honesty, it's about looking at every area of your life on the web, on your spider web, which is your web, which is your life, right? Finances, relationships, career, self-care, hobbies, like every situation, right? When we look at those areas, it's like, okay, I'm feeling really anxious, and we can use the 12 divine steps, number 1, looking at your web, like an oracle. Yeah, this is where your intuition kicks in around using your psychic skills for your own life, because sometimes we can be really good at using our psychic skills for other people, but we forget to use them for ourselves, right? So we can look at this and look at it like an oracle. We can go, okay, what area am I feeling most anxious about? And allow your eyes to go to a particular place on the chart, yeah? Or you can just simply tune in and ask, what am I really anxious about? Where is this coming from? And let your intuition tell you. Let your intuition speak to you, okay? Because when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling really intense emotions, when you're feeling anything but peace, something is trying to get your attention to pull you back onto path. If you don't pay attention, you will end up further off path, and it's harder to hear your intuition to be back on path, right? In any area of your life. So when you are feeling anxious, and it just so happens that the moon is a powerful tool, that when it is full and amplified and shining its light, it is like a beacon or like a torch that can shine its light rather than us looking around in the dark for the thing that's making us anxious, right? So whatever it is that comes to mind, that's about putting yourself into light, like bringing yourself into the light about what it is that you're anxious about. Now, in this limitless life that we live, and it's so interesting on the Instagram TV Daily Oracle that I did today, the infinity flow came up, and it's like, in the infinity of life where we live, how can you not believe that there is a solution to every single thing that you're worried about? There is a solution to every single, question. You only have to look up at the stars, or if you live in a city, like Google galaxies and the stars on the internet, right? On Google, whatever. There is so many possibilities, but when we're closed off and we're worried and we're anxious, we don't see those, right? So using our psychic skills allows us to bring ourselves back into balance, and your anxiety and anything but peace and like a sense of calm and serene and moving into joy, anything but those emotions is showing you that something is out of alignment. You're worried about something, this, that, whatever. It's like, okay, show me the solution to that. So interesting. That's what came through on the message on the Instagram TV today. I obviously needed to share that with you guys too. But it's exactly that around the full moon. And when we're so sensitive and psychic and amplifying our psychic skills, that we become even more sensitive to these things. And if we're not using them, they will feel like they're using us. We will be drained, exhausted, all those things that I spoke about in day 1. Okay. Okay. So Jeanette says, I haven't slept for about a week. In the night, I crossed the top of the stairs and sensed an old lady at the bottom of the stairs. I was scared. The veils are thin. Okay, awesome. So interesting. I'm about to release the whole mediumship thing. Trust intuition, go deep into mediumship and all the skills, because when we open our intuition, when we increase our psychic skills, when we start meditating, clearing our chakras, tuning in more, we don't just tune in to the good stuff. Like, when you tune in and the veils on the other side, like there's dead people walking around, so to speak, there's souls, there's spirits, there's demons, there's entities, there's good angels, bad angels, good angels, there's bad angels pretending they're good angels, like there's so many things. And you know what? People get scared of that stuff. And I'm like, hey guys, you don't need to be scared of that stuff just because it's like a ghost. Do you know, it's no different to the people on our planet. There's good people, bad people, good people, and there's bad people pretending they're good people. There's good, do you know what I mean? It's exactly the same. So there's no need to be scared. But there is things you need to know, because just like you wouldn't go walking down a back alley of a dark city, you just wouldn't put yourself in that danger. I wouldn't recommend just going exploring the spirit world in the same way when you don't fucking know what you're doing. Excuse my language, but do you know what I mean? I just wouldn't. right? A lot of people go, oh, this is amazing, and they do mediumship and they do all sorts of things. But if you're not understanding exactly what you're delving into, people wonder why they get drained and exhausted and have entities attached to them and do clearings and clear other people, but they're the ones carrying all the entities. Yeah, I don't know about that, right? So when you're saying that with the, you know, like the veils the veils are thin, yes. The veils are always thin, but at certain times of the year they are thinner, and a lot more. What's my words today? People who are not as sensitive sense more on the times when the veils are thin. Yeah? Yep, sleeping pattern is whack. My patience is like non-existent. Yeah. So it's really looking at, you know, when we do sense someone in our house, it is looking at, you know, like the main thing with your psychic skills and psychic awareness and everything, just like you lock your house, like there's so many things about sleep and all this, but I'll just share this bit now, is that when you go to bed at night, you know how you'd walk around, well, I don't know, I walk around and I shut windows, or I check that the doors are locked and check things are locked and, you know, close windows, blinds, whatever, right? Just as you do that on a physical level, you should be doing that on a metaphysical level as well. So you should be closing the metaphysical blinds, closing, you know, locking the metaphysical door, like imagining your walls full of light. Yeah, the roof, the floor, like full of light, like energetically closing up your house. Like it's not like out of fear, but you just wouldn't leave your house like wide open if you lived in a busy city. Well, I would imagine you wouldn't, and let strangers walk in off the street. So you just wouldn't do the same in the metaphysical world. But a lot of people forget about that. A lot of people don't do that. People sit there and meditate and talk to their angels and open right up. But then they open right up to all the dark stuff as well, and then they wonder why they get, you know, all these things attached to them. So there's lots of boundaries and stuff there. So in the in Trust Intuition, go into deep about that. We go deep into that. Oh my goodness, my words. Go deep into that, as well as like entity removal, cutting cords. Why I don't recommend just cutting cords. Like if you're just cutting cords and clearing entities, but you're not understanding and helping your client or yourself with the entire reason that entity or attachment or cord was there in the first place, I'd be so careful with what you're doing. Because number one, when you release an entity and you don't have the proper skills to make sure that entity goes where it's supposed to go, that entity will either attach to you or to someone else in the vicinity, or it will just reattach to that same person. It's the same with an energetic cords. You don't just cut cords. There's so many people where I'm like, you know, people come to me in readings and healings and they're like, I had all these cords cut, and then like this one woman, she ended up in hospital, and I'm like, oh my God, like you don't just cut cords, you don't just release entities, because if you just release them, it's just like letting a bird fly free. Like you don't just do that, right? There's a certain understanding of what to do in the physical world. It's a bit like, you know, a murderer. Like we don't just let the murder go free, we put them in the jail. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's a little bit of, you know, there's skills that you need to understand there, and that's all in Trust Intuition, which is open, by the way. If you've been watching the past 3 days, you will know that Trust Intuition is open. Super early bird closes on Thursday, Australian Eastern Standard Time next week. And because this is the final time of Trust Intuition being open at this low investment cost, you won't see it at this low price, and there's a 12-month payment plan on the super early bird, which does not happen. So if you're wanting to get in, now is the time. But we go into deep about that, and there's a certain understanding of skills and how you actually use the skills, because anyone can train it, anyone can learn any skill off the internet. You just have to Google it. Like it's easy. Like I'm sure everything is there, right? But if you're not really understanding why you're doing certain things, how to do them, what the order is, like yes, intuitive healing and psychic awareness is intuitive. It's not linear, it's not a straight line, but there's a deeper understanding about how you actually put things together and why. For permanent healing, anyone can clear and cut a cord, and that person might be fine for a minute or a day, right? Anyone can try and change a tire, but trying to put a whole car together to make it run, you know, for the rest of its life type thing, it takes a bit of skill to that. I wouldn't do that. I'd go to the mechanic and say, here, fix my car. Right? Can I do a reading healing for you one day? Sure. Yeah, I do readings and healings if you'd like to book in. That's all on my website there. No worries. So Kai says, what about a human spouse? How do you shut those blinds? Wow, there's lots of things we can go into there as well. There's lots of stuff about relationships. All right, so if you guys have got your psychic skill activator, day number 3. So these are the 3 biggest mistakes, okay? The 3 biggest mistakes that you don't want to make when increasing your psychic development, yeah, is number 1, not trusting the messages you receive. Now that might seem really like, oh, well, of course, Hannah, right? Not trusting the messages. Yeah. The biggest mistake you don't want to make is not trusting the messages. You'd be like, oh yeah, okay, cool, right? How many of you don't trust your intuition? How many of you don't listen to the messages? You might receive a message and you'll brush it off, right? We experienced that yesterday, those of you who were on or have watched the replay, and when we were doing the live psychic skills practice and activation, that, who was it? I think it was Kelly. Yeah, Kelly picked a hairbrush but she brushed that off. She didn't even say it. She didn't type it, right? She didn't type it in. And the item was a hair clip. It's so close. How many times do you receive a message, whether it's a gut feeling, whether it's a thought, whether it's all these signs, and you don't listen? You're like, oh yeah, no. Oh, like you brush it off. And it was correct. How many times do you say, oh, I wish I'd listened to my gut. I wish I'd listened to my intuition. Damn it, I didn't listen again. How many of you do that? How many of you go back into a situation and you're like, fuck, why did I come back here? I knew this was going to happen again. Oh, damn it. How many of you do that? So many times. So many times. Yeah? The biggest mistake, number 1, that you don't want to make is not trusting the messages that you receive. Now, in my course, Trust Intuition, there's an entire course on trusting your intuition. Because when it's all well and good to go, oh yeah, I need to trust the messages. But how often do you brush them off? Why do we do that? We have over and over and over again. Oh, damn, I didn't listen again. Over and over. It's all well and good to say, oh yeah, trust intuition, but I created an entire course on it because there's a lot more that goes on underneath to not trusting intuition. Self-worth, being hurt in the past, so why would I trust again, right? How many people have trusted their intuition, followed their heart, and gone into a situation and it's just backfired onto them? And they're like, well, I'm never freaking trusting that person. I'm not even trusting myself again. Hannah, I am not trusting myself again. What are you talking about? How many do that? How many people do that? Because sometimes we follow our hearts instead. Our heart is our intuition. So how would our heart even get it wrong? Right? There's so much that goes on underneath when we don't trust our intuition time and time and time again. Mind, as we all know, takes over. Yeah, it does. I turn my light up. Right? So, biggest mistake, number 1, is not trusting the messages that you're receiving. Yeah? 100%. So, the number 2, the biggest mistake you don't want to make, number 2, is not practicing your skills outside of your comfort zone. When working on your psychic skills, on your psychic ability, when strengthening, when learning, when, delving into all this stuff, the biggest mistake you don't want to make, number 2, is not practicing your skills outside of your comfort zone. Now, what do I mean by that? So I mean that if you're doing readings and you're, like you're practicing on friends, or you just practice on the same group of people, if you don't step out of your comfort zone and practice, say, I'm going to use this for example, readings, practice readings on complete strangers. Obviously you need to ask their permission and get them involved and all that jazz, right? But not stepping out of your comfort zone will limit your skills abilities. Now, examples that I mean by that is that you might be being guided to I don't know, hold on. I'm going to use psychic readings in particular. You might be being guided to hold a stall at a markets, or a psychic development expo or spiritual expo or something like that. And you're like, oh, I'm not doing that, right? But intuition's like, keeps nudging you, like, go there. Hold psychic readings, do that. Or become a psychic reader online or something. And you're like, I don't know, I can't come out about that. Now, not everyone gets the nudges to do stuff like that, but I'm using that example. You could even take it so far as you only practice on your friends and family, and you're wanting to increase your skills, and why isn't it increasing? And like, well, I don't know. And like, you're getting these like nudges to like, start teaching online, or start, doing actual paid psychic readings or mediumship or something like that. And you're like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm too scared about that. Right? By not stepping outside of your comfort zone, your skills will only reach a certain level. Every time you step out of that comfort zone and put yourself out there, that you're offering, I don't know, the first 3 people free psychic readings, or I'm increasing my skills and I need new people to practice on, or I'm stepping out and now doing this, and like whatever it is. If you don't step outside of your comfort zone, your skills will only reach to a certain level. Okay? Now what I mean by that is that when you step outside your comfort zone and give readings to people you don't know, number one, you don't know their backstory, you don't know anything, and in the start, or any time really, the best way to practice your skills is, it's both, right? Of course there's always both, but it's a real test from the universe usually when you receive a client who is very closed, who won't give you any information whatsoever, and you're just kind of getting all these messages and you're like, I don't know, like this person's really closed, they're not fucking saying anything, and I don't know, I'll just keep talking, and all these messages. And that person might leave, and you might not even receive any confirmation whatsoever. Then you might start doubting your skills and stuff, but I tell you what, they're the best ones, because it's making you trust your skills without any confirmation. And usually the ones who don't say anything are the ones where you hit the most core. And all they start crying, right? It does apply to everything, 100%. Yeah, totally applies to anything. If you want to get good at whatever you're doing, whatever skills you're doing, step outside your comfort zone. Okay, so the biggest mistake, number 2, that you don't want to make is not practicing outside of your comfort zone. Yeah? All right, the biggest mistake you don't want to make, number 3, here we go, is not continuing to grow your skills and continual self-development work. If you only get to a certain point and you're like, right, I'm healed, totally healed, I don't need to do any more work on myself, I've got my shit together and I'm all good, and we are go. You will only get to a certain point before you have a breakdown, probably, because it's trying to wake you the fuck up. That's another story. The biggest mistake, number 3, is not continually working on yourself with internal growth, personal development, increasing your skills, all of that. I don't know who originally said it, but what is it? That meme that's I can't remember what it is even. It's like every stage of your life, or every, space that you move into in your life will demand a different part of you, will demand a different you. And that takes growth to step into that person. Otherwise, we just be the same person all our life, which is fine if you choose that. But if you want to increase your psychic skills and your gift and how on point you are, continual growth and personal development in yourself, because you'll notice that clients you receive, people that come into your field, they are all reflecting you. And the best healers on the planet are looking at that and going, oh, how does that shift? How does that reflect into me? And when we shift that within ourselves, those people shift out and new people come in, and we're constantly growing, and that's how we shift and shift and shift. So biggest mistake number 3 is by not continually working on yourself. Now, this is not in an obsessive way, like, oh my God, I need to like fix myself before I can help anyone. Like, nah, I can't do any work until I'm fixed. Like, biggest myth on the planet, right? Because we are never fixed. We are never healed. But the whole contradiction around that is that we are all already healed. There is nothing actually wrong with us. But it's a consciousness returning to that, and not out of an egotistical, inflated, I'm fine and I'm perfect and I never have to do any more work. No, this is divine, delicate balance. Again, it's that infinity flow. There's an inflow, and we go inside and we heal and work on ourselves, whatever's coming up, and then we exhale. Then we exhale, we come back out into the world, and we share those learnings and we share those gifts, and then we come back in, right? It's a continual ebb and flow, the infinity of life, right? The evolution is from the infinity flow. We are never perfect. We are never fully healed, but we are those in truth, right? It's not about being perfect, because the best way you heal is by actually stepping up and helping others. But it's also being conscious that we work on ourselves at the same time. Yeah? A new way of life. Yes. Yes, definitely. Definitely. All right. So Shane says, what are your thoughts on confirming messages through muscle testing? I've heard of healers being influenced by other entities without their knowledge, and I heard to muscle test. Muscle testing, I love kinesiology. I really love it. I don't know how to do it. But, you know, any tool, okay, whether it's muscle testing, whether it's cards, whether it's intuition, whether it's like whatever tool you receive, messages by, cards, muscle testing, you name it. This is so important, guys. Whatever you use is only reflecting your current emotional reality. I want to write that one down. Whatever tool you use is only reflecting your current emotional reality. Psychic healers, psychic readers, mediumship workers, whatever you want to call it, is only reflecting your current emotional reality. Reflecting. Reflection. This is a person full of energy and all the stuff going on in their bubble. You're sitting there giving a reading. What you're doing and what you're picking up is the current energy that person has going on in their body. Current. It is a reflection. You are only reading the energy that person is currently in. This is why nobody can tell the future. They might say and sense that this person is going to live this sort of a life because this current energy is giving you clues that if they continue this current energy, that's what's going to happen. If this person changes their current energy, number one, you're going to get a different reading. Number two, they're going to create a different reality. Any intuition tool, anything is only reflecting the current energy of a person or thing. Change the energy, you'll get a different reading. That's why it's so important not to get attached to tools. It's good to take breaks from tools, even muscle testing, and tune into your intuition instead. Yeah? All right. So Joy was asking, so Leanne says lots, but learning more and more to listen and take action. I look at them as little lessons now. Yeah, little lessons that, you know, eventually we're like, I'm going to trust this. Yeah, sometimes I don't listen to my intuition, but I'm getting much better. Intuition. So what's my website? My website is realityawareness.com. And in the work with me section is where you can find psychic readings, healings, 21-day shifter programs, everything you need. Okay. All right. So the crucial magnification keys. How interesting. Chiron says, says even source cannot predict the future, just calculated guesses. Yeah, depending on the energy of people right now. Like, that's why nothing's set in stone. That's why Armageddon could happen. That's why a new Earth could happen. That's why a planet with no trees and no electricity could happen. Like, it could go any way. And it depends what everyone is doing today. Pretty amazing, right? A little bit scary. A little bit scary even. Who finds that a little bit scary? That nothing's set in stone. That could go any way. Or do you feel empowered by that? That you actually have, that actually one person can do something to change the world. That we have an impact. Yeah? Okay, the crucial magnification keys, guys. Okay, number 1 on your crucial magnification keys. And what I mean by magnification is obviously magnifying your psychic ability, magnifying your intuition, amplifying your psychic ability. Number 1 is your own practice and rituals. Now, rituals could mean a meditation routine, self-care, sleep patterns, how you look after yourself, your own practice and rituals. Whether that's your own internal development, your own meditating, your own attending places to grow personal development, your own anything, your own practice and rituals. And the real disciplined, strict rituals and practices are really crucial. I'm not saying you have to do it for the rest of your life, but for a chunk of time, really shift stuff. Yeah, if anyone's done any of my 21-day shifter programs or the 21-day archangel frequency, activate your archangel frequency, for example, anything done over a chunk of time, shift stuff. Do something once, yeah. Commit to a certain amount of time, you will really notice a change, yeah? Your own practice and ritual is your number 1 magnification key. Future weather forecasts, yeah, because they're like, this is what's going to happen. Everyone's like, oh, that's what's going to happen. Okay. They calculated it, not likely, but still didn't know. What was that for? Oh, they didn't know if another rest would happen around 2012, but we surpassed their expectations. Yeah. Hey, Karen Lee. Yes, for sure. So remember to share, guys, if you want to go into the draw. Guys and girls, I should say, to go into the draw to get a psychic reading. So win a 30-minute psychic reading. Sorry, you just said reset. I got distracted because you said reset. Yeah, because I was like, a rest. We didn't know if another reset would happen around 2012, but we surpassed it. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like things are shifting. We're activating a lot of light bodies. That's got to do something on the planet. Okay, number 2. Number 2 of your crucial magnification key is, what's the draw? Oh, yeah. So if you share this live stream and then comment on here and tell me that you've shared it, so just comment shared when you've already shared the live stream, you go into the draw to win a 30-minute psychic reading with me, a phone call psychic reading. So a 30-minute free psychic reading with me on the phone, and that will be drawn on Monday. Well, the entries will close Monday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So you've got 3 chances, day 1, day 2, and day 3. If you share all 3 of those live streams and comment shared, then we will put all those together. And on Tuesday, Australian Eastern Standard Time Zone, we're going to pull those 3 out of 3 different hats, so to speak. And so we will, yeah, get that happening so you can share it and let me know. So yay for sharing. We all seem to believe what we are told and not trusting what we feel is right. Yeah, and that comes from 12 years sitting in a school being told what to do for 12 years and do this and at this time and line up like this and read this and write this and only colour these little colours in. No, you can't use that colour. No, this one and this one and this one. And no, you only have to learn this. And now you can eat. No, you're not allowed to eat now. No, you can do this. No, you can go and play now. Oh, no, only for 5 minutes. No, sit down and finish lunch first. No. For 12 years. And people wonder why they finish school and like, I don't know, what do I do now? I just go to party because I haven't had freedom for 12 years. Like, sorry, don't get me started on the systems. Okay, let's get back to it. Crucial magnification key number 2 is not following your own intuition, which is right what you just said, especially when it doesn't make logical sense. Right? Number 2 of your crucial magnification key is following your intuition or not following it, especially when it doesn't make logical sense. So if you want to amplify your intuition, if you want to magnify your psychic awareness, you follow and listen your intuition, especially when it doesn't make logical sense. And just like I said on day 1, the mind will always overtake the heart. So you'll be like, yeah. And then your mind will go, oh no, but that doesn't make sense. Or no, you can't do that. Like, how are you going to find the money for that or this or that? Right? The mind will always overtake it because they've trained us for 12 years to listen to this and do what it's told. Right? So when we step in to trusting, it's also trusting the unknown, just like I said before, around the entire world could go either way, any limitless possibility. And this can be really scary for people because for 12 years, for example, we've been trained, do this. We know what's coming. We know the routines. We get comfortable in that. Now, what did I just say in the biggest mistake, number 2, for increasing your psychic skills is by stepping outside of your comfort zone. So if you really want to amplify this is where we put 2 and 2 together. And we realize that the world that we imagine and feel in our heart that's free and loving and carefree, does it have structures? It'll have some sort of structure. Does it have lots of rules and regulations and can't do this, can't do that? Like, no, there's a lot of freedom, but there's also a damn lot of trust. And the thing is that in structures and systems like schooling and all that sort of thing, there's a lack of trust. A lot of people don't have a lot of trust in other people's choices, namely our kids. We're told we've got to control them because otherwise they won't listen and they won't respect us. But at the same time, we're not respecting their choices and what's important to their heart. So how can we expect them to respect us back when we're not even respecting what their heart is wanting them to wear? For example. Yeah? Can we control who we fall in love with? I don't know about control. Don't know if it's can we control who we fall in love with. I think we can control working on the childhood wounds that make us feel out of control when we're attracted to somebody, because we will attract relationships that are representations of healing either a parent wound, and we will continue to feel that magnetic fireworks, and I must be with them, and they're my twin soul and my twin flame, and I have to be with them. And the pull is so strong because it's the childhood wound that is attracting that to try and heal that. So we can control working on these, coming into that feeling of wholeness. It's divine step number 10 today, wholeness. So we feel full. We don't even have that need. And when there is that attraction, it's a different energy. Yeah? Just checking these comments here. Yeah, I swear It rains almost every day when it's home time from school. That's all you hear at the school, parents talking about rain. I'd love to get all the parents talking about sunshine. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, we just had lots of rain here this morning. Okay. That's the pull of love. Yes, wanting to heal. Yeah, wanting to heal back to wholeness. Everything is a reflection to bring us back to wholeness within ourselves. Right? So the crucial magnification key, number three, is not comparing yourself or copying what other people are doing. So the crucial magnification key in increasing your psychic ability, in magnifying your intuition, in amplifying your skills, is not comparing yourself to anyone else or copying the work they're doing. Now, this is a little bit like, because the thing is that we take courses, we read books, it feels good, and then we're like, want to share that. And then we're like, oh, but isn't that copying? And it is and it isn't. If you think of yoga, for example, how many different yoga courses are there out there on the planet? How many different yoga schools are there? Now, whilst yoga has a specific kind of philosophy, I guess, and that's threaded through every course has a unique flavor. It feels different. They teach differently. And every single course is correct. So don't go beating yourself up or thinking that you're wrong for copying. Oh, well, they're doing that, well, I can't do that. I mean, show me a recipe book on the planet that is not a recipe book. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, someone's like, oh, I want to create a recipe book. Oh, but I can't do that because there's already recipe books on the planet. Like, I'd just be copying their work. Like, no, you wouldn't. Where does those recipes come from? Your heart and soul. And you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I could put this together in a book. Is that copying? No, that's come from your own heart and soul. Did you read other recipes like until this day, like that taught you how to cook and put things together and learn different like spices go together or something? Like, yeah, probably. Are you copying that person's work? No. Copying is taking exactly the same thing and making it your own when it's not, right? And then putting it out. If you want to amplify your intuition, you might be getting the message that I need to teach yoga. I need to write my own yoga thing. Is that copying? No. But you know enough skills about yoga, I'm using a yoga example now, to be able to create what's busting out of your soul, because your intuition and your psychic ability is connecting you to your own soul, to the collective divine, to the God's plan, whatever. And if you don't, what's the word? I don't know what the right words are. If you don't follow that intuition, a couple of things happen. You're going to feel drained and tired if you're not listening to intuition because it's all backing up. The other thing that can happen is that because it's in the collective divine, someone else will start doing it. They're like, oh, this brings me life. And they fully trust and they bring it forward. And then you'll be like, hey, that was my idea, but you didn't act on it. Allowing yourself to trust what's coming through for you, right? There's a difference around copying and following your own heart and soul around what's coming out. What's plagiarism? What, that person took your idea when you didn't even implement it and it's still up in the others? If that's what you mean. That's you not trusting your intuition. And so the divine's like, oh, well, you're not going to listen. I'll go give it to someone else so we can implant this seed onto the planet to shift the consciousness, because we don't really care who does it. We just want someone to trust their intuition and run with it. At the end of the day, Spirit wants to birth creativity and creation. It wants to keep us alive on the planet. They're not going to wait for this person to completely wake up. And if that person's still doubting themselves and still doing that, they're like, oh, well, we'll go and give it to somebody else. Because I guarantee, even things that have been patented on the planet, Like there is things that come through from the divine, and then you go to put a patent and you had no idea, and that was like a brand new idea that came through. No one else, you've never seen it on the planet. Somebody's already patented it. It's like, oh, right? Those ideas are floating through the others. So when you get messages about something, it's important to act on them. Yeah? Releasing the fear that you're copying, especially when it's, say, for yoga, for example, right? Oh, written work, yeah. That's, fully copying it, yeah. But if you've taken this course and this course and this course, and you're getting your own thing coming through, which is a recipe of all of those, and your own intuition comes through about that, you're like, oh my God. And I tell you what, when you start to put together all those things that seem like you're like, oh, I don't know, that's what they taught. But if you trust what your intuition is calling you to do, and you're like, well, I learned it this way and I learned it this way. If you start doing that, I guarantee you something whole brand new will come through, which is all of your skills put together, which isn't copying. It's all the skills that you learn in all those different courses then coming into its own thing within you and birthing your purpose. And this is where the biggest thing about trusting your intuition and what you're being guided to do comes onto the planet. You want to amplify your psychic skills and abilities is trusting the messages that are coming through about what you're being guided to create. Not looking out there and going, oh, that's a good idea, I'll do what they're doing. It's very different energy. Yeah? Very different energy. So true, it used to be that only one person was given the idea, but then Spirit saw that people weren't following through, so they decided to release into the others. Yeah, and I mean, like, sometimes some things only come through one person, but if that person's not going to follow through their intuition and do the thing, like, it'll go into someone else. And it's interesting, and this is the collective. Like, you know, how many times do you guys feel something and I'll write an energy update or someone or the astrological stuff, and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's what I'm feeling, and everybody's feeling it. Like, that's the ideas, guys. It's the same thing. It's all there. It's all in the limitless field of possibility. If we just open to receive, we will see that there is an answer to every single problem on the planet. There is a solution to every single problem on the planet. There is. It is crucial to trust your intuition with what you're being guided to do. Yeah? Yes. Let her be free. So many kids these days are entrapped in their phone screens, only because they usually got limits on them. And it seems like that because we do put limits on them. They're not doing anything else, they're just on their phone all day. Yeah, because you then put limits on it. So any time they get, they will probably do that. All right, so do it with music. How many songs these days are original? Yeah, exactly. There's so many things, and it's not that anything's good, bad, right, or wrong. It just depends if you're going to trust yourself to bring through what you're being called to bring through. Because like I said, like the thing about your life purpose, and if you feel like you don't fit in anywhere or nothing nothing resonates, or you know, you just like nothing feels good for you to teach or do, it's because there's something that you're meant to do on the planet that's not here yet. And the biggest part of birthing your life purpose is trusting your intuition and facing all the backfire that will come from doing that. Do you trust yourself enough and trust the messages from Spirit about what you're being guided to do, right? Because this is the thing, and this, I'll say it again, that when you start to put together something, and you might be like, oh, but this is where I learned that. Like, I did that course and that's where I learned that. And then you're like, oh, I'll keep going. And then you're like, but this is where I learned that. Like, that's from that course. Like, of course you can say that. I mean, I say that all the time. Like, the Lightwork Practitioner training taught me everything I needed to know. I'm obviously still learning, right? But it was a big foundational piece. And I teach a lot of that now. Right? when you continue going, you birth something, all those skills that you learned, because it's not like, oh, I'm just teaching this, I learned that there, I teach yoga, I learned that there. No, your own flavor comes through. Light-filled yoga was born from me teaching normal yoga, but I found my own style, and now I'm birthing light-filled yoga onto the planet. That hasn't come from anywhere else but me. And that wouldn't have come if I didn't stand up and start teaching what I already learned. Life purpose doesn't just, well, it does just drop in, right? But it's not like you'll do a course and birth your purpose. It's like you'll do a course, for example, and then you'll start taking steps. And if you continue to trust your intuition on taking the steps that your intuition is guiding to do, especially when it doesn't make logical sense, all of a sudden you'll get to a point and the universe will go, oh, here, she's trusting. Here, now we can give her the thing to birth her, because she trusts herself enough to not get knocked by anyone else's shit, get influenced by anyone else's stuff. So now it's time to give her that, because she can handle it from all avenues. Even artists take art classes. If they want to increase their skills, of course. But hey, YouTube, like, you know what I mean? Okay, so, yes, on point, yes. Okay, when I taught, I would gather ideas from my learning and other teachers and then put it together the way I felt was right. Yes, exactly. I could then tweak it as I feel it needed changing. Yes, exactly, right? Oh, she's just now in your care. Yeah, so it's just teaching her other ways. All right, so trust intuition. Hey, I didn't put the link in. Let me drop the link in, because trust intuition is where we go into deep with this, right? And like, trust intuition was born from me having a fallout and everything being taken away from me. And it was because I had to birth my own thing, but I had to trust myself enough to put it together, right? And I went through so much shit in my life of not trusting my intuition, that this course was born because I wanted people to, I guess, have the fast track to being able to trust their intuition and not go through all the hurt, pain, and all the shit that I went through to get to trusting my intuition. So this is like your fast track to trusting intuition. Trust your intuition. It is all the tools that you need. There's mediumship in there. There's all the stuff we've been speaking about with, like entity removal, cord cutting, like what do we do about the stuff underneath? What do we do about releasing addictions, right? It's like all the deep stuff underneath. That is what is in trust intuition. Yeah, so pin the comment to the top. The super early bird closes next Thursday. It's open till the end of October, but there will be incrementing price increases. How was I led to doing this, Joy? So I'm not sure how you found me, but I literally wrote a post 3 or 4 days ago. And the post, if you scroll down on my page, it's called, hang on, I'll be able to get it for you as well. I'll just share it in my blog. It's called, what did I say? When I stopped taking drugs, I became more psychic. So in 2005 was when I had my spiritual awakening. And I literally wrote like how it came about for me in that blog. So if you want to, of course there's more to the story, but that's a good kind of understanding. If you want to have a read of that, I'll just pop that in for you. Yes, I became more psychic when I stopped taking drugs. That's the title of it. I'll just pop it in there for you. There you go. Oh, for a couple of months. Yeah, so I just wrote that blog. I became more psychic when I stopped taking drugs. And that gives you pretty much how it started for me. So, yeah, you can have a read of that. Okay, so like I said, super early bird goes up on next Thursday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Well, on the Friday, so until midnight next week. And this is like, you get lifetime access to the course. if you choose to, you can train to be certified intuitive healer and life purpose activator, which gives you the certification and you can receive insurance. So if you want to start doing this in your business, you can literally gain the right insurance and everything, so you've got a legitimate business and know how to work it as a proper business, not just stepping up and doing it, actually stepping into moving to doing it more professionally. Of course, you don't have to do that, but that is what Trust Intuition is the intuitive healer and life purpose activator certification. You get the fortnightly support calls in the Trust Intuition group, which is any questions that you have about your personal life, about intuition, about whatever's going on, life purpose, business, anything. You can ask me those questions on the support call each week in that group. I'm also starting to do a monthly psychic development classes in that group as well, which I'm a little bit excited about because we got a taste of it yesterday. So if you watched day 2 of the Psychic Skills Activator and joined us, or even watched the replay for the Psychic Development Practice, that is now a monthly thing in the Trust Intuition private group as well. So when you join Trust Intuition, you get access to that group for 12 months. After that, it's just an annual fee of $97 if you want to stay in the group, but you also get lifetime access to the course anyway, so you don't have to stay in the Facebook group. But you do have the tribe in there who get it, who have been and are into the deepest, darkest traumas and back again. So that is the space. There's no judgment of the dark or the light in this space. Trust Intuition, best decision ever. Yes, I love having you in there, Michelle. Joy says, how long have I been doing it now? Like, what do you mean doing it now? Like doing this work? I've been doing it ever since 2005, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I've been doing it since 2005. Yeah, you're so welcome. So I've got the bonus. I wasn't going to do any bonuses, but before I was jumping on this live stream, I kept getting the bonus, like doing a little bonus Psychic Skills Activator training right now. The prices are in US. Yes, they are. They sure are. Okay, so with Trust Intuition, that's the course. If you wanted to do the next level, which is working with me one-on-one as well, the inner circle is open. The inner circle, like I said, Trust Intuition and the inner circle, both investments will be going up in December. So when I open the doors in December, you won't see these low prices again ever. With what I've been shown to do and take reality awareness beyond where it is right now. So I'm a little bit excited about that. The students in Trust Intuition already know what that's about. But yeah, that's like bringing my heart really alive. So if you're feeling called for Trust Intuition, this is the last time you'll ever see it in this investment. And then the inner circle. Inner circle is 12 months one-on-one with me. So you get unlimited WhatsApp support. There's phone calls each month in there. So it's really taking your skills to the next level, whether you're just wanting to increase your own personal psychic development to enhance your business and your life. Not just like, you don't have to come out that you're a healer or psychic person, but you can amplify your own skills, which amplifies your business and your life, and nobody even has to know what you do, right? So the inner circle is where you get that unlimited access to me in Trust Intuition, and joining in the group, you get that fortnightly support call, yes, and you can ask me any question. But in the inner circle, it's one-on-one access every single day. Ask me a zillion questions, always there for you, and tuning in. Plus you get access to any course that I create in that 12 months. You also get access to the Life Purpose Mentorship, which is where all the business and the money mindset and everything comes in. That once we step into trusting our intuition, if you choose to become certified, and then how do you even like build a business from that, whether it's in person or online, is where we learn all of that in the Life Purpose Mentorship as well. So the inner circle is open as well. I'll just drop that link in for you too. But these both of these investments will be going up in December when the doors open. Well, when it closes in at the end of the month is when these prices will be going up. So I've just popped both of those in. So definitely something you want to get in on now. Yeah. if you thought about it in the past. Yeah, it sure is incredible investment. Especially what's coming up. I'm so excited about that. Okay, so, oh, did you just ask me something? You did. Where are you? I'm in Australia. Yes, I'm in Australia, Joy. Yes, the inner circle is awesome. All right. So the bonus, you guys think that I'm doing readings for you, right? No, that's not the bonus. All right. The bonus in right now of the Psychic Skills Activator. This is a bonus that I didn't even talk about. I didn't even know that I was going to do, but I'm trusting my intuition as always. And I'm going to give you next level skills in doing a psychic reading. Whether you're using cards or any other tool, you can apply this what I'm about to teach you to whatever you're reading. Okay. So as I shared on here earlier, when you're giving a reading, all that is happening is a reflection of that person's energy. Now, whilst that is still true, when you're, say, reading cards, number one, I'll give you some tips here. Number one, I'm going to use reading like cards, okay? Especially if you're just starting, use a deck that you love. Use a deck that you know how to. Use a deck that's easy for you. So, for example, like I love using oracle cards. When I first started all this stuff, oracle cards were the thing and I used them for many years. You know, I never bought a tarot deck. I was never drawn to them. I was always a bit about tarot. For 10 years. It was over 10 years, actually. 10 years I didn't buy a tarot deck, right? I had many oracle, but tarot, I was just never drawn to it, right? And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, and I kind of went in and I guess I'm sharing that to let you know that it's okay, that you don't have to read tarot cards, right? We can read coffee cups, we can use, tea leaves, anything, right? Rocks, clouds, whatever, okay? So when we are reading cards, choose a deck that you're familiar with, that you love. Like, for instance, like the Mermaids and Dolphins card deck, I love and use and have for ages. The Fairies is well used. I love these cards. And the reason, if you wanted a tip, like just use one deck for ages, right? One deck that you love, right? Because remember, when you love something, it's easy. When you love something, it's easy and you want to learn about it more, okay? Now, when you're giving a reading, the thing about using a deck that you love and that you know is that, and I'm going to pull a card and we're going to read a card. Oh, look, everything's okay. So when we look at here, everything's okay. Now, obviously you'd have, your cards spread out and you'd have it all laid out and everything like that. The main tip that I'm feeling called to share with you guys here about reading cards is that you can receive, I don't want to put a limit on it, you could receive 10 different messages from the same card. Now, someone might say, oh, everything's okay. Don't worry, it's all working out in a beautiful way. And that's the message. And maybe someone just needs to hear just that message. But if you want to magnify your intuition, because day 3 is all about not making mistakes with personal development and increasing your psychic skills, and your crucial magnification and amplification keys about increasing your psychic ability, how deep do you want to take one card? You could receive 10 messages from this one card, and I'm going to show you, right? 10 is a limit that I don't like putting limits on, okay? It's limitless, the messages you could receive from one card. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that I'm reading this card for you. Oh, okay, everything's okay. Don't worry, it's all working out in a beautiful way. Okay, yeah, so have you been worried about something? Because can you just not, like, everything's going to be all right, okay? Just stop worrying. But I'm also noticing that her hands are, she's got her hands up and she's like this. And even though that's like, it's okay, like is what is deceived on that card, actually what I'm sensing from you is you're like, stop, it's too much, stop, right? Is that what's going on for you? And I might be like, oh yeah, I've been really scared about this thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because I'm really picking that up with her hands. And then I'm also seeing that she's covered in butterflies. There is a lot of butterflies, yeah? So there's butterflies coming out of her heart, around her head there. And butterflies that I'm aware of signify transformation. So it feels like you've been going through a lot of change right now. And actually with the hands, you're like, it's too much, stop, I need a break, right? As well as worrying about, oh my God, when's this going to end? It's kind of like, and you might be like, oh yeah, there's been a lot of change, and I broke up with my boyfriend at the end of last year, and like I still haven't like worked through that, and my heart's like, I'm still sad about that. It's like, oh yeah, because there's a lot of light coming out of her heart or in between there. So I'm wondering if it's like new beginnings, or you're needing to express because it's like this coming out and you're like, enough, right? So out of one card, there's a lot of messages that just came out of that, right? I picked up, she said broke up with her boyfriend, a lot of heart energy. Yeah, butterflies signify transformation, but they also signify pink tourmaline in the liquid crystals, which is the gift of love. Now, all these things are my skills that I've learned over the many years that I've been doing this, about learning about the liquid crystals. And I know off the top of my head that pink tourmaline, the liquid crystal, is associated with the butterfly, which is the gift of love, which is deep heart healing and about stepping into that love and being able to give that. I know that the hands can signify it's okay, or like this, right? And then looking at what's going on, the other part about this, right, here we go, another depth of deeper about one single card, is that this card is purple. Yeah, there's a lot of purple around this card, and purple signifies the crown chakra. So I know from my skills and all my learnings over the many years that the crown chakra is purple, and the crown chakra, because I personally teach coming down into your body, not starting from the base and coming up. I start from the top coming down, and I know that the crown chakra consciousness is all about spiritual awakenings. It's all about new beginnings, because we're opening and we're allowing our energy to come down and through. Sometimes that can be like, it's too much going on, right? So new beginnings, new awarenesses, thinking differently, new patterns, new life paths, right? So much can be read from one single card. So your bonus today is, again, trusting, when, like, just like I was saying before, not comparing or copying others in the number 3 of crucial magnification keys, right? Is when we're like, oh, but I feel like I'm copying because I learnt this from this course, or I learnt this from this course. But when you can see that all of these come here, and all of these skills come here, and all these skills make you and amplify your gift in the way that you receive information because of all your skills and knowledge about certain things. So let's take it to a mechanic, okay? So a mechanic might know, he might specialize in brand new cars, which are all like electronics these days. A brand new young person just wants to learn about all modern day cars, might not have any understanding, well, they probably have an understanding of how olden day cars work. I don't know, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm giving an example that I don't know. This is out of my depth, right? I'm assuming here. Correct me if I'm wrong, if there's any mechanics on the live stream. So when we're looking at this, right, it's looking at the olden day cars, very different to a modern day car that's just full of electronics and computers, right? So someone with these skills is different to someone with these skills. However, if this person wanted to amplify their skills, they would learn about all of them. So when you're first learning, or you're, feeling called to learn about other things, as I teach and trust intuition, I say, if your intuition is calling you to go and learn about something else, can you trust yourself about that? Why? Because it's another skill that brings in, that amplifies your skills. The other part is that when I use this same deck over and over and over and over, I build a relationship with these cards. I know these cards off by heart with all the possible messages that could come out. Just like I say, everything's okay, and all the messages I just shared. But sometimes I could get a message about something for someone different and say the same card had come out and I'd be like, oh, everything's okay. But actually what's jumping out at me on this card is all the pink flowers hanging down from her ears and all the pink clothes that I didn't notice before. But now it's jumping out at me because I'm reading for somebody else. And all these pink flowers, and I know that pink flowers represents, pink is the same color as our ear chakras. And our ear chakras represent opening and receiving. And our ear chakras are all about the feminine. And this, it's okay, don't worry, it's all okay. And I might be saying to the person, okay, I'm seeing all this pink and the ear chakras and opening, receiving, feminine. I'm actually getting the message about feminine. And this is a woman. Do you have issues with the feminine or a sister? I'm getting the message about a sister. Like, oh yeah, that's right, I just had a fight with my sister. Like, do you know what I mean? So when you know this deck of cards, there is a zillion messages that could come out. But if you're learning a deck of cards, you're still learning all the different messages that this card has. And you want to take it deeper, you build a relationship with every single one of these cards. You treat these cards with utter respect. These cards are alive. They're alive. They're living beings. They all hold different energies. Every card holds different energies. Every card can hold unlimited messages. Yeah? The key is about trusting your intuition about how you read the cards with all the skills and knowledge that you have accumulated along your journey to date. Yeah? So that is the bonus that I was not planning to. Just before I jumped on live stream, I'm like, there's a bonus coming in today, actually. Right? Love it. But 100%. Yeah, I teach it in Trust Intuition. Yeah. So how to read your own tarot cards is one of the bonuses in Trust Intuition, because it's also one of the fastest ways to trust your intuition. Any tool is a amplification tool to learn how your intuition speaks to you, to learn how to trust your intuition, right? It's just learning how the cards speak to you, but also learning the relationship you have with your own intuition about the messages you're receiving, which we tapped into yesterday and the day before. Yeah? Yes, 100% card readers. Yeah, that's why I teach it. 100%. So yeah, when you answered, or you asked me before, do I teach intuitive card reading in your courses? So Shane asked that question. Yes, I do. It's one of the bonuses in Trust Intuition. Can I read myself? I read myself all the time. We're never not tuned in to ourselves and to others, because otherwise we wouldn't be at the, I don't know if like the right word is at the level. Like we wouldn't be, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and this is what I teach in Trust Intuition. Like, we're never switched off from our intuition. Like, it is never, it's not like, okay, I'm sitting down meditating now, I'm ready to receive my intuition. Like, you're receiving intuition 24/7, like we are, right? And that's why I go into detail in Trust Intuition to teach you how to do that, because if you're not paying attention all the time, or know how to listen to the messages, or know how to recognize it's coming in all the time, that's when we get wiped by energy and pulled off track and all of that. Yeah. I know old cars need compression, spark and fuel. Today's cars depend on all those plus electronic components that conventional motor won't run without, say, fuel injection. Yeah, it's out of my depth. I know a little bit about cars. I did get an A in mechanics in year 12. So do know a little bit, but yeah, that was a long time ago. Massive chills. Oh, goosebumps. Everyone's getting chills and goosebumps. I love it. So Sean says, I lost them last time we moved, and time to get myself some more. Yeah, so the cards that I was just using that example today is the Magical Messages from the Fairies by Doreen Virtue. I love these cards. They're very well used. Yes, I love the way you do this. Yeah, thanks, Michelle. I do love the way I read my own cards. It's just my skills, and again, just trusting your intuition with the way that you're being guided to help people, right? What's the difference between tarot and oracle cards? I go into depth about that in how to read your own oracle cards, how to read your own tarot cards. So yeah. But do you actually picture the card facing up even though you know them? I'm not sure what you mean. do you pick the card facing up? Oh, so do I? No, so when I'm reading my own cards, I still shuffle. I don't look. What? I don't know what you mean. Like, I just still pick my own cards. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I love your glow when you go into flow. It excites you. Hey, that rhymes. Did you know you're a poet and didn't know it? All right, we're getting into the poet flow. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, awesome. Awesome. So good. All right, so remember, guys, that, and if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. If you are watching on YouTube or on the replay, you can always come onto my page at Reality Awareness on Facebook and share the live stream. Comment below and tell me that you have shared it, and just write shared, and then you will go into the draw, which I will collaborate and pull together on Monday, and we will do, so basically the draw finishes on Monday and we will pick from the draw on Tuesday. There'll be 3 winners, yeah, so 1 for day 1, 1 for day 2, 1 for day 3, and you can win a 30-minute psychic phone call reading with me. So that's what you go into the draw for if you choose to share the live stream. So you got lots of time until Monday to do that. So I pick a random one. So yeah, well, that's how we pick cards, isn't it? We pick cards, we tune in and we pick cards, whether we're reading for ourselves or somebody else. Does that make sense? I read for myself exactly how I read for other people. It's the same. There's no difference there. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else that I need to mention on this live stream? Does anyone else have any questions? Is the message I'm getting to ask. And I will share the details of the Intuitive Healer and Life Purpose Activator certification as well on my page too. So you'll see that going through. And yeah, lots of exciting things happening in Trust Intuition and where this is going. It's so good. So good. You're so welcome, Callie. So welcome. I loved doing the Psychic Skills Activator, the training on you yesterday. It was so cool. So many people picked up so many things. Like, it was so awesome. It was so awesome. So Leanne says, some pick from the top of the deck after shuffle, but never look at the cards face up. I still don't know what you guys mean. What are you talking about? Some pick from the top of the deck after the shuffle. Oh, I see, right. So they pick from the top. Because I guess, like, are you saying, like, where do I pick it from? So sometimes I will just draw the 3. Same as when I'm picking for Tuesday Tarot. Or I will randomly pick from inside, or I'll pick from the bottom. It just depends where I'm being guided to do. Look, I've been shuffling that, and that's still the bottom card. That's amazing, right? You're so welcome. You're so welcome, guys. So, I'm not sure what you're talking about. So, Leanne and Joy, when you're saying that, but I just want to say, because something is coming to mind and maybe why you keep saying it, I'm like, what are you talking about? So, another little tip, oh my goodness, all these tips that I'm giving you to increase your psychic skills and train yourself is, if you do know your deck very well, get a very good deck that you know, and or just a normal playing card deck, like, you know, just the aces of cards and whatever those normal, like the poker cards, I don't know what you call them. Oh my god, right, you guys know what I'm talking about. An awesome thing to do is obviously shuffling your deck, and on the floor or table, literally like lay out the cards. Yeah, so lay out all your cards. You can pick a card or many cards, and tune into what's on the card before you turn it over. So you want to increase your psychic development, just like we did yesterday with our practice. This is something else you can practice. Tune into what's on that card before you actually turn it over. I was getting lots of green. Let go. Yeah? So tuning into what's on the card before you turn it over. Yeah? Yeah. All these tips and tricks. Or if a card on the inside goes sideways, yeah, when you're shuffling, yeah, if one's like kind of stuck or like, oh, that's the card. Yeah. definitely. Playing cards. Okay, just playing cards. I thought they might be called something. These are oracle cards and tarot cards, and I don't know, I thought they might have a name. Awesome. All right, guys. I'm going to jump off this live stream. All these tips and tricks, remember, you can share it, or you can tag somebody's name in the comments as well, or share this in a private message if you think this can help somebody. I shall see you guys really soon. I hope you guys have loved the Psychic Skills Activator. If you want to dive in deep, trust your intuition is where it is at, and move forward into this and join us on the birthing of reality awareness and where it is going. That trust intuition is a big part of this. So I'm excited to have those in the tribe that are feeling called, because it is a soul calling, and I look forward to meeting you there. Lots of love.